All right, everybody, welcome in. This is Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin, and I guess we adopted Red, so Real Spoon and Puddin and Red. I'll be the big spoon.
I'm Rad.
I'm Puddin. And then you got a disclaimer to read.
Yeah, the primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and share our thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on a topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin do not accept any responsibility or liability for our guests or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we talk about on the podcast. This podcast is for private and non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin. You can reach us at Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin at Gmail. What's up, guys?
Yeah, Red had something he wanted to talk on. He was mad about last week, so. All right, Red.
You get over it. It's all right.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're giving me the floor. Thank you, gentlemen. Hi, good morning, good evening, something like that. Yes. My main thing was since the Uvalde and Buffalo grocery store and any other place that recently has been the subject matter of a mass shooting is people speaking about the guns used being military weapons or military use weapons. And my thought was that there isn't a gun that we use today that hasn't been used in the military. Doesn't, any type of action, I don't care if you're even shooting a 22, whether you're shooting a lever action weapon, you're shooting a semi-automatic weapon, the actions and the magazine capabilities, one way or the other, have been used via military. Now, if you're sitting there with your 10-22 that shoots 22 long rifle and you're saying, well, how in the world has this ever been used in a military use? Well, no, the 10-22 may not have been used in the military, but the action and the magazine capabilities of it have been used in the military. So it essentially is no different, whether you're shooting an M14, an M16, or you're shooting an M1 Grand, which actually uses a clip, a real clip, not a magazine, in its weapon, but it's still semi-automatic in its form. And I just find it when one of the people that I actually subscribe to on an email just to, for their sales and stuff like that, apparently is a flaming liberal, if you will. And whether it's, with this whole COVID thing, his email this past week spoke about the fact that weapons that the founders couldn't even possibly fathom, an AR-15 magazine fed. Well, my retort to him is that when our founders created the Second Amendment, they were using the cutting edge modern military technology of their time. And they were well aware that the people would be using something very similar. They were much more closer to the time when the civilians would have a militia, if you will, for the intent of a militia, and that they would have to be called up for duty to supplement the called up army as far as that goes. So they weren't under any kind of, oh my God, it's an AR-15. It has a 30-round magazine that can be fired from a grip from his hip, one way or the other. They were already using modern military technology of their time, whether it be a cannon, grape shot, muzzle loaders, muskets, however it is that you desire to say it, they've used it. So there isn't a weapon in anybody's inventory that isn't military grade once upon a time.
And not to mention all these
I guess
left-hand bastards that want to take away our guns, want to talk about these. Oh, they're military weapons. It's the same weapons your city officers carry around in their trunk or their back seat. All right. It's not like this big rocket launcher, and who cares if it was? Second Amendment says if I can afford a rocket launcher, I should have one. But don't act like it's this big tank that a person shouldn't have.
So Charlie, we got the rocket launcher.
Well, even as one of the more famous YouTubers, Brandon Herrera, he owns several cannons. Actually, I know Sleepy Joe keeps talking about the fact that well, what do you need a cannon for, or why you don't own cannons? Actually, as a civilian populace, if you desire to own a cannon, as Brandon Herrera pointed out on one of his videos very recently, it is actually easier for you to purchase a cannon than it is for you to go and purchase a firearm at a gun store. So his thing is that the only logistics that are stopping you from it would be the transportation of it from point A to point B because of how heavy it is. So
I'm tired of hearing about all these unconstitutional bullshit gun laws anyway. It's just like the 18-year-old. He can't buy a pack of cigarettes or a beer, but he can sign up for the military and get shipped off to Middle East or wherever. And what's he going to have with him? He's going to have a gun that he can't buy or carry when he's 18 as a civilian. I don't want to hear all your bullshit.
Well, I mean, even today, you can have a black powder. It doesn't matter if it's a cannon, a Kentucky rifle. If it's black powder, it comes right to your house. You don't got to deal with it. But, I mean, I'm sure what some people want in this country is that if we were invaded to go run and defend with the black powder guns, right? That's what they want.
Yeah.
Like Ukraine. They should have had constitutional black powder guns to defend. But hey, even Bill Maher this Friday said something about the timeline or something that was happening in Uvalde, or maybe it might have been the week before. He said the guy, it doesn't matter what gun he had. He was in there for almost an hour. He could have been there. Did it matter? Nobody was stopping him.
Well, and we can morph that into a Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms also, because the off-duty Border Patrol agent was getting a haircut at the time when his wife texted him the information about what was going on. She was a teacher's aide or a teacher or a school administrator. I don't remember which. I'm sorry. But their child was also enrolled in that very school. And she texted her husband while he was getting a haircut at a barber shop. And he borrowed the barber's shotgun and went down there and dispatched that POS that was in there doing what he was doing.
While his officers standing outside doing nothing except for
sharing bottles of water.
Well, no, they were out there holding the parents back from going in and putting them in cuffs and detaining them because they were too scared chicken shits themselves to go in and do their job.
Well, and I seen a photograph from Colin Narar, I think is his name, on his program, and he showed a photograph of it where they were outside. They had what looked like Kevlar vest on. I don't want to say metal plates or anything as far as that goes, but they certainly were suited up in Kevlar vests. They looked like they had their bump helmets on. I don't know if they were ballistic helmets or if they were what they consider bump helmets. And they had AR-15 rifles in their hands, standing outside, waiting for somebody to tell them to go inside. And here was this Border Patrol agent that was off duty, took a shotgun from his barber borrowed a shotgun from his barber. Why did his barber have a shotgun at his barbershop? Because he had the right to keep arms and to bear them. And he was able to go there and to dispatch that piece of crap that was there, terrorizing that school, and killed him. According to stories, he got his wife and child out first. Believe it or not, it's said he got his wife and child out of the school and then
went back
in. Went back in. He already got out. He could have just said, screw the rest of those people that were inside there. And he went back in and took care of that piece of crap that was in there.
I don't know about you.
I realized.
I think every officer that was standing outside, instead of them going in and doing their job, they should be officers. Look, I understand they have a dangerous job. That's what they signed up for.
And I understand they may have a command too, but dude,
I understand if they were scared and stuff. Look, I don't care about a command or not. If somebody, just like that off-duty patrol officer, if somebody's in danger and they're in there murdering innocent children, fuck the chain of command. All right. You're an officer, you have all that weaponry, you go in and you try to save as many as possible.
Yes.
If you don't want to do that, I understand you're scared and all that. Turn your badge in, turn your weapons in, and go find another career.
The one photograph that I saw had 4 officers. There was at least 4 officers.
Oh, there's more now.
Well, no, I understand. I'm just saying with one photograph that I seen of them just standing around was 4 officers. Even if those 4 officers said to themselves, better to ask for forgiveness for violating whatever law there is than to have to ask for permission. You know, one of the young men that we associate with a lot, he likes to say, free men don't ask for permission. You know, right. These gentlemen should have just gone in. These officers should have just gone in. It doesn't matter. Public opinion will back us up.
Yes. I don't care what chain of command or what guidelines they were supposed to follow or who they was waiting to get the okay from. They go in, they take care of that son of a bitch. They save lots of innocent children's and teachers' lives, but the kids is what my main focus would be. The parents and the public will take care of them. They'll make sure that they don't get, in trouble. And at that point, why are you worried about getting in trouble or losing your job anyway? If there's 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids and they're getting killed, who gives a fuck if you got a job when the job's done? You go in there and you save as many of those kids as you can, and you worry about your job after.
Yeah, essentially, you do the righteous thing. I'm not trying to bring religious in, but you do the righteous thing first. You do the righteous thing first of going in and assaulting the perpetrator.
And this goes back to the story I told a few shows back about the mother here where we live who went with her bulletproof vest, and she was carrying her weapon that she had a permit for to the school party because they had gotten a threat of somebody would go in there and shoot them. And the teachers called the police. The police come and found out that she had a bulletproof vest on and she was carrying a weapon, and she got in trouble. Why are there laws to hurt innocent people who have the right to carry an arm and protect their children in a public school? You know what that means, people? We own that building. All right. The police don't own the building. Our appointed city or county or government officials don't own that building. The public owns that building. So she was within all of her rights by the Constitution and the law because she had her permit, right? To go and protect her child, except for the unconstitutional law of only police can carry weapons on school grounds. That's a public building.
That would be where, there are certain places where even if you are permitted, you're not allowed to carry. But as a civilian.
Doesn't make it constitutional. Doesn't make it right.
I won't necessarily disagree with you.
Who do you better protect? Who do you better trust to protect you and your children? An SRO officer, the city officers that are minutes away, or your fucking self who has the right to carry your gun and protect your child that you're right there beside anywhere you go?
Well, that if they
I
would
guess it would depend upon the training that you've taken. I guess I would say as long as you've had some training with that weapon and that you are able to. I wouldn't want somebody just to kind of go in there all willy nilly and.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm talking about a parent is going to instinctively protect their child at any cost, right?
Well, they.
I know I
even
am.
If they got shot back, you would put the. I mean, there was somebody the other day that was pointing out. They said that they talked to somebody on a SWAT team. And he's like, there's one man in a room with windows on one side and a door on the other. There's no way you can hold that room. The cops could have went in two directions at him, and no, they didn't.
Right.
So, but I mean, I know we keep talking about that, but I mean, Eric, Red, sorry, you said, yeah, you said last week, why didn't y'all send me Charlie said, well, I'll make sure I send you another one every time.
Well, and my main thing is just that they keep
the weapons of war
calling it military grade weapons. That the founding fathers did not think of an AR-15 at the time. The founding fathers were dealing with the modernization at that point, the modernization of weapons to that point. And they were dealing with the cutting edge weapons of their time. And they were constantly looking for more cutting edge weapons in order to destroy their enemies more effectively. And so, to say that our founding fathers could not have possibly imagined the weapons that civilians want to own nowadays being in the hands of civilians, no, they knew that the civilians had the same arms as the army, because that was the whole intent. Part of the intent of the Second Amendment was to keep and bear arms so that you would be part of a well-regulated militia, also a civilian militia.
This whole bullshit comments from the people today about our forefathers, what they didn't really mean this, and they couldn't fathom this. This comes from people who couldn't be shoestrings in shoes that our forefathers wore, because those men were so far advanced to the stupid people that we have today.
It's not that. If the forefathers and the Second Amendment means cap and ball, musket, whatever, well, then no more texting or email. Let's go back to quill and paper. And then you can wait, months for your letter to go horse and carriage, right?
Right.
No trains. We can't track it. No more trucking it. Let's go back to sending mail the way old-fashioned way.
Well, no more getting your news from Google. No more getting your news from CNN.com or Fox.com, FoxNews.com. You can go ahead and just wait for it to come out in the print. The good old-fashioned printing presses.
Well, we would probably know by now, because a ship would have carried a note from Ukraine that there was a war going on. See, instead of instantaneous, like we're using the technology, and it's like, okay, well, stop using technology. If you say that we got to go back to cap and balls because that was the error, let's go back to the same waiting for 2 months from letters from England to find out, oh no, did they agreed to surrender the Civil War or the Revolutionary War? Let me rephrase that. But no.
Well, I have my own line of what, I have jokingly referred to as my constitutional weapons, which are single shot Harrington and Richardson rifles. And, I am sure I have it from pistol calibers of 357 all the way up to 308 Winchester. I am very much so sure that if I wanted to commit an assault on some public building, that I could certainly dispatch enough people to be considered a mass shooting as far as that goes.
Especially if you're in a classroom for almost an hour with no confrontation. I mean,
yeah, I mean, with nobody impeding you, and just mere children on top of that, as far as that goes. I mean, what it, even the adults the week before that were in the Buffalo supermarket that were confronted with a deranged shooter also, they at least had the ability, the the knowledge to attempt to escape and to evade. What are the children going to do in reality? What are they going to do? They haven't lived long enough yet to really be knowledgeable as to how to escape and to evade. And so I mean, yeah, with the cops not going in there to even at least to harass the shooter, so that maybe he had to pay attention to something other than the innocent victims that were surrounding him. It's incredible.
I mean, the one thing is how big a piece of shit, number one, you got to be to go into an elementary school and target innocent children, and two, how big a piece of shit you got to stand out. You got to be to stand outside instead of going in and trying to stop somebody and just waiting for somebody to tell you. There's everybody wants to point their finger at one guy. It's just a shooter. The whole system let those kids down, right? The government, yes. Schools let those kids down. The policies and procedures to keep people out failed those kids. The police, yes. Failed those kids.
Yes.
It wasn't just the shooter's fault. There's more to talk about than just one thing, right? And yes. I told Trey something about that I posted on my personal page the other day about we sent 50 something billion to Ukraine, and there's so many schools in America. You seen where I posted that was yes. Enough money that you could put 5 SWAT members at every school in America and pay them and still have money left over. And you want to think the government cares about your children? Do they care about you? They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about your children. The only thing they care about is manipulating the children and the people's mind to be blind sheep and to pay taxes and follow their lead. That's it. They don't care about if you live or die or not. They don't care about if your kids live or die or not. They failed you. Your government failed you. The school system failed you. The policy and procedures failed you. It wasn't just the one guy that was a shooter. The whole fucking system failed you. And how many times can we point out that the whole system failed you? Don't blame the gun.
Every one of them.
Don't blame the gun. He could have been in there with a fucking pocket knife and killed 100 kids.
Yeah, I was actually listening to another one of a famous YouTuber this morning, and he mentioned an example. It was in a foreign country. It wasn't here, but a man walked into into an office building with a bow and arrow. But he was actually very proficient at being able to use his bow and arrow. He had apparently was an accomplice. And he killed a lot of people there also, as far as that goes. With a bow and arrow. I'm going to say it was probably a decade ago, or maybe 2 decades ago. There was a man in Japan. It was Japan or it was China, one of the two. I think it was Japan. And he got onto the subway with a large knife and was going from car to car, slashing and stabbing people. Why? Because Japan has gun control. Japan has gun control. And all of those people in that subway system were, slaughtered. And they had nowhere to go. The subway's in motion. Where are you going to go at that point until it gets to the next stop, essentially? Where are you going to go? So it doesn't matter what type of weapon a person uses if they are set on doing something heinous. And
it depends on the stage of the scenario, just like that subway. The classroom. If I break into a school and I'm in there for an hour, I can go classroom to classroom with those innocent children. How many can I take out with a knife or a machete or whatever you want to pick, a fork, before somebody comes in? It ain't got nothing to do with the weapon.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
if a quarter or a half of our school teachers and administration were allowed to carry their weapons based on the Constitution, because I guarantee you in Texas, at least 25% of them probably has
support it.
Well, besides just support it, they probably have a weapon themselves that they probably carry when they're not at school. But if they had it on them, look how different this whole scenario turns out.
Right.
So what did you want to talk about something today, Spoon?
Let's go back to what me and Trey was talking about, like the Wild West. People talk about how bad the Wild West was when everybody carried guns.
It's not true. It's a myth.
They don't go back and study and research the history. And Red, we talked about the gangs that would rob banks and stuff. They wouldn't go to the towns that were heavily armed by the citizens because they knew what would happen.
Yeah,
they would try to pick and choose the towns. Yeah, they would try to pick and choose the towns that had small populations of people that carried their weapons so they could slip in and out without getting in the gunfight.
Yeah, wasn't it the Dalton gang? I think it was the Dalton gang that was actually met with armed resistance. At a certain point, they attempted to rob one or two banks in a particular town. And the Dalton Younger gang, I believe they attempted to rob two different banks in the same town. And somewhere along the line, somebody recognized them and the word began to circulate. And as these bank robbers began to exit the bank, they were greeted with a volley of fire, back at them, as far as that goes. And I don't believe they made it out successfully as far as that.
If these shooters knew the school was armed, how many of them would enter the schools? Out of all these school shootings we've had, how many would enter?
Well, it wouldn't be a good target. It's not a soft target no more because there's already a gun in the building.
Right.
As of right now, there's no.
And if they did, what would be the carnage? It would be a very, very, very minuscule amount compared to what. And I'm a conspiracy theorist to the point that some of these college and school shootings, I think,
you can't call yourself that because you don't have on your tin hat.
Were conducted by our own government.
Put your uniform on, sir.
I have to say it, and I don't say that it doesn't happen at other times, because I guess the bump fire thing happened under Trump's watch. The bump fire stock that was presumably used by the shooter in Vegas, that was under Trump as far as Republicans, but it just certainly seems that the left, who keeps trying to grind this gun control, take away the guns of the populace, just seems like this seems to happen more under their watch as far as that goes. And it does make you want to scratch your head a little bit. I mean, I don't know how to say, hey, who or how. I'm, maybe not, don't want to, well, I don't want to speculate to that extent. It seems like it would be a very complicated speculation to say, hey, they're actually putting a bug in somebody's mind somehow or another. I mean, that does kind of go into what Trey is talking about with the tinfoil hats and stuff like that, but it just seems
you don't think your government would pay someone or trick someone or manipulate someone into going into a school and shoot it up so they could get on their agenda high horse and start preaching, we got to take away the guns. We got to ban the guns. We got to take, look.
It certainly seems that way.
Me and Puddin talked about that. They wanted to talk about Trump. He done more in 4 years to take away your weapons than Obama did in 8. Your bump stocks, your red flag laws.
That's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm trying to work on a meme. I was watching that 10-hour long Guns and Gadgets thing. Did you watch any of it, Brad?
No.
Well, it was the
10 hours long.
Yeah.
I definitely did not watch something.
Guns and Gadgets followed it, and it was 9 hours and 55 minutes. But when Representative McBath from Atlanta, Georgia, wow, what a peach we got there, another blue idiot, started screaming, I want to do a meme because she started screaming about 19 states have enacted, red flag laws. 19 states. So I looked it up. 25 states have permitless carry. So does that mean you're going to vote for that? If the number of states who've enacted something is justification for Congress to act. Well, all right, Congress, 25 states have permitless carry or constitutional carry now. 25, that's half. Go ahead and pass it federally. Tell people in New York they don't got to get a permit to carry a gun anymore. Tell people in California the same thing. You can carry a gun now because half the states already have it. And I kept screaming at those Republicans on the other side. I'm like, she just gave you a layup. This is an easy one. Why can't you just shut her up?
That's because Mitch McConnell is trying to negotiate some rights away that we have, in order to keep, because they know the midterm elections are coming up and that this has happened. And now the Republicans are basically going, hey, Trump, they're all wanting to follow Trump's example. And as we just got done stating, in 4 years, Trump did more to take away guns than 8 years there. And so once again, Mitch McConnell and the Republicans are saying to themselves, we don't want to lose power. We don't want to lose Republican seats. And there they are, wanting to come to compromises or agree to softer language and all of this. I mean, it's baffling. I would almost I hate having to capitulate to a conspiracy theory, but you would almost just have to think to yourself, we always say the right and the left wings are just the same bird. It's the same bird, and these people are trying to take away the rights of the people to defend themselves from tyranny.
But you know what? The politicians don't bother me, right? Because I already know what's coming from them, right? What bothers me is the civilians, the citizens like you and I, who will stand and defend them and plead and cuss and tell everybody we need more gun control. We need the weapons taken away from us. Like blind sheep being led to the slaughter, they're trying to give our rights away. Look, people, if you don't want guns and you think only the police and stuff, the government should have the guns and you shouldn't have any, don't get any. But don't give away my rights. Don't give away Red's rights. Don't give away Pudd's rights. Don't defend the sorry sons of bitches who walk around with armed security guards everywhere they go. While your children
because they are afraid of we the people.
They have real toys under their cloaks.
While they're conspirating behind your backs to have your children in elementary school killed so they can take away your guns. Think about that.
Most of them congressmen and the president's guards, I guarantee you that, if they're high ranking official, there is an agent right near them who's probably got Red will know the gun, the PS90 with a chopped barrel, full auto, very compact, 50 rounds. And I guarantee you they ain't got the cheap ammo in it. They probably got the steel core ammo in it that'll go right on through Kevlar and just not stop. It'll keep on trucking. But that's the kind of weapons they get to protect them. You? No, we don't care about you. You know, you can't have that stuff unless you get massive permission slips or it was made before 1986, the Hughes Amendment. But
Right.
like I said, it's just, I don't know. People don't pay no attention. They don't do any research. But
Yeah. I mean, I just it's just incredible. So, and I read the email from the advertiser that I do like to frequent. I do purchase from them as far as that goes because they sell a quality product. But the person that writes the emails, it is incredible. I just I don't understand. I've read his emails on COVID, on other things, and it just makes you. I don't know how in the world this guy, like it makes you wonder how in the world he lives in his environment because he basically does nothing but disparage the conservatives and the Republicans as far as that goes, calls us all kinds of. I find it so odd that, back when Trump was president, he hated that guy for that guy making fun, Trump would made fun of handicapped people. He was confrontational and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, every time I read this particular advertiser's emails, he is constantly attacking people himself, left and right. You didn't close it all the way. And he's constantly attacking people left and right, and calling people names and basically essentially having a form of hate speech on his own also. And I guess I know I deleted it, so I can't look it up because I was just like, I'm not keeping this email on my phone. But it's incredible, just the ability of these people to wake up every single day and not be able to come to reason, if you will, as far as that, because
I mean,
I
we can talk about this all day, all night, for weeks.
I could just continue to shake my head. It's and so with that in mind, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the timer now. We've spent 37 minutes talking on this. I just thought it might have been a small segment that I was going to make a statement on, and and it is definitely a hot button issue in that regard.
Okay, so you want me to say what I brought up to you last night, Spoon? Because I think you got off the phone, Red, or do you want to talk about something, Spoon?
We can move on from the subject. I'm sure. Yeah, I am sure that we have covered it.
If you got something, go ahead.
Well, remember what I was telling you like last night? I was like, because I was complaining. I was shocked at the diesel price. What? And I don't know what's going on with it. And I'm like, it's like, wow, the diesel's crazy. But you were off the phone, Red. I said, imagine if employees, no matter where you work, McDonald's, grocery store, Walmart, whatever. Imagine if employees would unite together with the high gas prices and say, from my driveway to this job you want me to come to, back to my driveway, is this many miles. Let's pick a 15 mpg and let's ask our employer to subsidize and pay for our fuel to come in here. What do you think about something like that, Red? Is that I don't see it as out of the realm.
I mean, they do it to us. We eat the cost of the rise of the fuel when you go to the grocery store.
Yeah, well, they just say we're
going to order a pizza or whatever.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know they pass that cost along. Just like I'm saying, you're an employee and you're going into a business like where we work. Not just our company, but the people who actually manufacture the stuff we haul. But
well, I mean,
if everybody was to get together and agree on something and say, look, price of gas is $4.50, $5 a gallon. We'll pick an average of say 15 mpgs. You owe us $5 for every 15 miles we drive, and we'll just tally it up. You're going to pay us if you want us to come in here and run these machines.
Well, imagine
You
Walmart.
mean it's something that is collectively bargained, if you will,
Yeah.
versus what might just be considered a fringe benefit that the employer gives you?
You know, the employer ain't going to voluntarily fringe benefit anything.
How many stores do you think Walmart has in America? Quite a few,
Oh,
right?
Quite a few.
Oh, let's say they have.
Amazon's warehouses. You still, you know, there's probably people who drive 40 miles to Amazon or 50
All right,
miles.
let's go with Amazon. Say they have 1 million employees, which they probably have a whole lot more than that. But if 1 million of them said, "Hey, we're not coming to work unless you subsidize and pay our
For our
fuel costs,"
You're going to buy our fuel.
don't you think Amazon would come off of the money for their fuel?
Depends on how many people don't show up.
Well, you would have to have the majority not show up.
If everybody stuck to their guns, I think Amazon will come off the money.
Oh yeah,
You know, I
They-
think
they
Walmart
wouldn't even-
come off the money.
they wouldn't even blink twice; they would come off the money.
You know, look, I like Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk recently last week was saying, if you work for me, you're going to come to work. Well, I guess if you want me to come to work, you can buy my fuel. And I'm not asking you to just turn in every fuel receipt I got. I'm asking you to say, here's where I live, here's where you want me to work, and I've got to make that trip twice in a day. You know, we can get down to right to the 10th of a mile, and you can figure it out. If you want to do it by an average or whatever, but everything that ships in this country, people don't understand. Everything that ships in this country has a fuel surcharge on it.
Yes, it does.
I was shocked because you got it off the phone last night, Red. And when I come into Owensboro, I looked up and I said, "Oh my goodness, it's $5.99 a gallon for diesel. That's the highest diesel I've seen. I know it's higher in California and stuff, but $5.99 a gallon in Owensboro. It was $5.99 out at Cross Plains when I come through there today. So the price is really edging up.
I found it.
Right. Go ahead and read your chat.
What chat? Oh, whoops. I'm not paying attention. Oh, wait a minute.
Does this need to be thrown away?
No, that doesn't cover it though. Do you?
No, but I'm already getting it, essentially. I mean, it may not be the total amount, but
Yeah, but I'm saying, imagine you have somebody who.
my employer already gave it to me without me having to ask.
Yeah, well, okay. Well,
Well,
most employers don't.
Yeah, we work for the same company, Puddin, but we do different jobs.
You know, but I mean,
And-
I'm not talking about even us. I'm saying the company
Yeah,
we
but-
haul for has manufacturing,
Yeah, but
and
the
I'm
point,
sure they have technicians who live 20 miles away.
the point I'm getting at is when they close the warehouse down here in Portland and tell us you drivers that start in Portland have to drive to Bowling Green, guess what? I'm not going to work for them anymore unless they pay for my fuel. Because I can get another job that pays more that's closer than Bowling Green, right?
Well, they've got that figured in, I guess, or they figure they're going to lose so many people. But I mean, but you see what I'm saying, though. I mean, collectively bargaining and saying, "Hey, look, you know, I think, you know, if you're not going to start opening up all the leasing land across this country, and let's rush into pulling that, you know, I mean, we can make a lot of money right now. The world wants oil. We're sitting on lots of it. If they would start pumping it everywhere." And I know where you're at, Red. They're still going, but I'm saying it was in the news a few weeks ago that Alaska, they closed leasing land for drilling. They closed it. And I was like, what? Why are you doing that?
The only thing I can think of is because it goes to what one particular reporter said that they're not issuing the permits for access. They may be issuing the permit for the pad, the lease pad that they're on, but they may not be issuing the permits to go from point A to point B. So to go from the hard road to where the lease pad might be, they may not be issuing the permits to put a road in, essentially.
Maybe they shouldn't have issued permits to Rockefeller in the 1800s. Oh, wait a minute. They probably didn't have those things, huh?
Right.
They probably didn't have to go ask permission to drill, you know. But I mean, it was a thought that come to me, and I was like, boy, some of these people that work at these companies that, and you know the guy, Dessa, your shift, he lives in like I think it's Russellville or something, so he's got to drive 25 miles to work and 25 miles home, and it's like, well,
a lot of these companies, you already have company vehicles and fuel cards, right?
no.
And then you got truck drivers who
It's too open for abuse, honestly. I mean, you could figure it, oh no, you can't do that. You can't open up access to let people, because they will steal from their employer like no business. What I'm saying is you think about the idea of saying, all right, so your trip to work is 8.9 miles this way and 8.9 that way. Well, there's your numbers. You've got them. At that point, okay, we owe you the weekly price of gas times however many days you go to work. Or on a state basis, not a national basis. But, each state has a state average. It would offset the cost, because you think about these people that are just working like 11, 12 bucks an hour. Why do you, if you live 20 miles away, why would you even drive to that job?
y'all are getting a stimulus check.
The citizens of the state of New Mexico, yes. I have a Florida driver's license. So I am not a citizen.
Yeah, I knew
of the
that.
state of New Mexico. So no, I'm not receiving one. But to me, my initial thought when I seen that was it's just more of a government stipend, to give. For the government to give it, it's just one more stipend that they're trying to enable the people to rely and depend on the government to give them their crumbs.
Vote for us. We gave you some money.
Yeah,
we stole it from you first.
I believe I was told by a source within my home that it was $1,000 stimulus.
$1,000 stimulus for fuel?
Not monthly, right?
No, just a check, $1,000.
One time.
But it's still, to me, it's a slippery slope, because it's still just a stipend from the government. It's just enabling you. Well, it's coming from we, the people, the citizens of the New Mexico, is where it's coming from.
And the people working there's got to pay it back,
right?
With interest.
Well, let's put it to you this way. I'll bet you they're not asking you for proof of employment in order to receive it. Well, I don't know all of the circumstances. I don't know how they find out Joe Schmo, lives in Carlsbad and they're going to give him a stimulus for $1,000 because of fuel cost. I don't know how, they, I doubt they're asking Joe Blow if he works,
Well,
I was breaking news. I was just told it was via your DMV record.
Wow.
So, if you own a car in the state of New Mexico and it is registered, you will receive a stimulus for fuel.
Uh-huh.
¿Qué cuánto dinero? All right. I was a little zealous in what I said. I guess it's only a $400 stimulus, but I was a little zealous with it. It just seems like a nice, clean figure. As George Carlin said, everything comes in tens nicely.
Well, still $400 per every vehicle that's in the state of Mexico. That's quite a bit of money.
Red, right now, we haven't started our spinoff show yet, and
But
You know, the agnostic clowns. You know.
you have to have filed.
So what was your topic today, Spoon?
Otherwise,
Well,
you can
I wanted
file
I wanted to touch on.
through the Department of Children and Families, which is called the Economic whatever division,
Oh,
and only 5,000.
I didn't know where that was. Okay.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to talk about some of the files we had, but I wanted to talk about the city a little bit because I requested on April 28th, which it was a lengthy. I would say lengthy. It was 6 different line items, the things I requested from the city of Portland, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I got these, which I don't think I got them up, but I can show them right here. On April 28th is when I requested them. On May 9th, I finally got an email from the city. Here's the page here.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, we are in the process of obtaining these records you requested. Due to the amount requested, it will take some time to process all these items. All right. That was May 9th after requesting April 8th. On May 25th, I received one thing, which was the CAD report, which was one, a lot of the info was redacted, and 2, it has pages missing. Other than that, I got just excuses. Like my item 1 was police files. It says item 1 has been requested from the HR department. This is May 24th. I requested them on April 28th. So you're telling me almost a month later, they've been requested by the HR department, right? But if I think back to you, Puddin, you requested a police file from the county. How long did it take for you to get that police file from the county?
Tuesday, got it yesterday, or got it 2 days ago.
So like a week.
A little over.
That would be 4 days.
No, well,
you-
it was
Requested on Tuesday and received it on Friday.
I requested it Monday night. Tuesday, they said I sent it to the wrong person, so I sent it to the correct person Tuesday. And then if you take out Memorial Day for Monday, yes.
You the week before. You requested it Tuesday the week before.
Yes.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you got it Thursday, right?
No, Friday.
You got it Friday.
Friday afternoon.
All right. So 7 business days, he had his police file, right? So even if you add in the Memorial Day and the weekend, it was 10 days. And here we are. What's the day, fellas?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
5,
Yeah.
June 5th.
It's June 5th. So from the county, it took him 10 total days. That's holiday weekends and everything to get his police file request. And from the city, from April 28th to now it's June 5th. I don't have those, right? Not even one.
Well, other than the city of Portland, for my files that I requested from them, I've gotten one response from her. You didn't include your driver's license proving you're a citizen. So I sent it back to her with a snide, smart aleck reply about, hey, really? Come on, you can't Google it, And I put the address and everything on there. Oh, go away, Google. Stop listening to me. But
one line item I requested from the city. Y'all remember Mr. Dillard's police body cam that got released to the national news station that ran everywhere? That they wanted to throw him under the bus. Y'all remember that? Well, you remember I telling you about it anyway, right? About him admitting to using a word.
What did your fellow Klansmen do?
I requested all body cam footage from that residence on that date, right? The same footage that they released at the police station. This is what I got told. Request is ongoing in court and cannot be released at this time. So somebody could release it to the national news station to try to eradicate him from the city board of directors, right? But it's an ongoing court case. So me as a citizen, I can't have it. So there's another line item of excuse.
Maybe you could request it from the news station.
And maybe that's what I need to do. But I wanted all body cam footage, not just the 57-second video that they released to the news station, right? But I can't even have that. All right. Item number 6 was I requested. Let me get it right so I don't.
Dead air. That always makes a podcast go well.
I'm sorry.
Is Spoon freezing? Or is it me?
I dropped you down.
You dropped it down.
Yeah, I'm looking at a file so I can read it because I don't have it on paper. My line item 6 was I requested all records regarding the falsification of training records by Officer Ellis and Officer Scruggs. And this is what I got told. Instead of them giving me the files, the response was investigation was done by the State of Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission. Like, who gives a fuck? What does that have to do with the price of milk and molasses? I don't give a shit if the investigation was done by the Pope. I requested the papers and the outcome of the investigation. See, this is the piddly bullshit that I have to keep continuing to deal with the city, with them trying to hide and to cover up stuff and not give you the information, the public information they requested. Like this CAD report, it says 1 of 3 and 2 of 3 is the pages. 1 of 3 and 2 of 3. Where's page 3? It's not here. It wasn't there. And they whited out everything. Like, look at this section. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see this section over here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is there anything there?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything here? You know, they take
a good place to take notes.
Well, yeah, but see, there in those line items, there's nothing on there that is personal, confidential information that they needed to white out. Right? It wasn't a social security number or anything like that. That was public information.
Well, apparently that wasn't the Summit County then.
Yeah, well, see, you have the response. These empty boxes here is communication between officer and operator, right? That's
Yes.
public information. They whited it out. They didn't want me to see it or the people to see it. You know, if it's personal information,
put it out there.
I'm not going to say anything, right? I mean, it's got their name and their height and their weight and their restrictions on their eyeglasses and the car they're driving and the insurance company they're using and the plate of their car. It's got all that information, but you don't want me to have the public information where the officer and the operator is communicating back and forth about what's going on. And then at the bottom of page 2 of 3, it says PD 729. The PD 727 is conducting FST, which is field and sobriety test. That's at the bottom of page 2. But guess what? Page 3 is nowhere to be found. I bet page 3 has got the results of the field sobriety test. How much y'all want to bet? I said at the bottom of page 2, it says PD 727 is starting to conduct a field sobriety test, but page 3 is not there. So all that would have carried over to page 3. I said, I bet page 3 has all that on there, but I didn't get page 3. How much you want to bet?
Sorry, that noise you were hearing was the grinding gears in my head going,
So I had a very good response to the email. Of course, me and you couldn't plan on going up there in person in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and have my new request for my new information written out. Which I got printed me a new blank form so I can go ahead and fill it out. So what are your thoughts on that?
What time frame?
Yeah, I mean, the county within 10 days, that's counting holiday and weekend, you got your file, but the city has had since April 28th and now it's June 5th. They still have yet to
Just
give up the
corrupt.
police file.
It's a corrupt little town. What do you expect?
Well, I guess we need to. I need to get with a news station and somebody else and turn over all the evidence I have now and the future evidence and let them do their own investigation.
Investigating minds want to know.
Yep, they do.
I would probably, you should probably attempt to pursue it as much as you possibly can.
I'm going to.
And I mean, let it play out, I suppose. And then, like you said, eventually you may have to take it to higher. I don't want to say higher authority, but
the real upsetting thing about this is I think it was on the 22nd, 21st, somewhere around there of May. I emailed the mayor, all 7 members of the council, and the city recorder, and with my screenshots and emails showing, hey, this is what's going on. Why does it take this long? I have an issue. I want help with this issue. How many responses do you think I got from the 8 members of the council, including the mayor and then the city recorder? I got 0 response. That's the real issue that I have, is because they work for the people. But when you take an issue to them, I haven't been disrespectful one time to anybody over anything as far as requesting records or anything. The only slightly thing that you could say that I was disrespectful in, which I don't feel like it was when the mayor's assistant said she didn't work for me, and I asked her, was she paid with taxpayers' money? And she said, yes. I said, sorry, you work for me. You work for all the other people too. So that would be the only slight they could say I was disrespectful at. Even when I went to the council meeting,
I don't know if you're being I don't even know if you're being disrespectful. You were just simply informing said employee that no, you do work for we the people.
Well, you know how they are. You know how they are. She was on the phone with an attitude. Well, I don't work for you. You get paid with taxpayer money? Well, yes, but I work for the mayor. No, you work for me and all the other people. I don't care what the mayor told you or what you think. If you're paid with taxpayer money, you work for the people. That means if you're a firefighter or a police officer, you work for the people. I know how the system is, and they've portrayed it to where they run everything and they work and we work for them, but that's not how it is.
No, you definitely it is we the people. But yes, have they gotten away from that whole aspect? Yes, they want to believe that they are their own entity. When which is the same reason for why you're having trouble getting public records, essentially. If it's on a matter of public servants, then it's a public record, and if you're requesting the materials, they need to be forthcoming with it.
What can I tell what the paper of the county said when they would try to request stuff from the city?
Sure.
I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say names.
No.
All right.
Oh gosh.
What?
You're talking about lost the key?
Yeah, that's one to bring up. The county requested files from the city, but the city response was, we've lost the key and we can't locate the key and we don't know where the records are. We got to find the records.
Well, the key where the records are stored is lost. So,
yeah.
By the way, here's a water.
Can't hire a locksmith. Can't hire a locksmith.
Well, if you did that, you couldn't hide the evidence if you hired a locksmith, could you?
Yeah.
Well, we have that story. It's a watered down version, of course. Did you notice any dates or times other than just a year? It's pretty much all I seen, and it was an opinion from this chief and then to that chief.
Yeah.
And then there was a 3-2 vote, and
which is not
but
the current
again, what
chief,
I'm
but
no, but that's what I'm saying. It was a watered down version, and 2 recollections by 2 different people with no actual dates, just a year, blanket year, and then there was a vote to, keep, punish or terminate, and they voted 3-2 to terminate. So that was pretty much what that first page said, which that was the first story from 2001 is what it said. But we're not going to talk about that right now. I'm just talking about
no.
the fact that, they,
The record keeping.
well,
I just wanted to give the example
during the hiring process for Sumner County, they requested a file from Portland. We can't find the key. But by the way, here's the only real bad thing, and we would hire him again if need be. So, good reference. Portland covering up for Portland.
that was just another example of how Portland operates. Even the county couldn't get a file from them.
Yeah, you can't give the county the file. I requested that, huh?
Corruption.
Well, I'm gonna ask him when I see him. I'm gonna ask him in person. I'm gonna be like, "Have you found the key?" Because I requested that file too. I'm just curious if you found it in the last 7 years, or maybe had one made, or
did you hire a locksmith?
If not, could you hire a locksmith? I mean, I'm gonna wait for it, but
I wonder what their face is going to be like when I handle my request and it's got her file requested on there along with the mayor and everybody else.
The
city
recorder.
Yeah.
You still haven't filed for the lady at Sumner County at the sheriff's that remember you were supposed to request that one, the recorder lady
At the county?
Yeah, I thought she was.
No, it's the city.
Yeah, no, you're going. Okay, well, let me see how much you make and how much you're. How long have you been on the job? Did you find the key, by the way?
Which I already got.
I don't think it's the same. The lady's name is listed in there, wasn't it, on that paper, on that hiring paper? That she was a new recorder and couldn't find the key to where the records were stored.
That was back then, right?
Yeah, that was back in 2015.
Yeah, I didn't look at the name, but I don't think it's the same.
Maybe we should request that lady's name, see if she discovered the key. And well, they already hired him, so you ain't got to send a file down there. They don't need to see the real, the full details.
Yeah, really.
But anyway, like I said, I thought you was talking about. No, I'm just saying.
No, I wasn't gonna bring up a topic for another day.
Somebody must be washing silverware in the background.
Yeah,
it must be. It's not there. I keep getting yelled at because I'm looking down at my phone doing research. Oh, I keep getting told, "Hey, look up! Don't you look like you're at least look like you're paying attention."
Somebody's finally doing their.
Somebody else watching too.
I reckon.
Somebody's finally doing their chore, but they have to wait till I'm in the middle of this to do it. You hadn't had 12 hours of daylight that you didn't do it. Now,
wait till the lights come on, huh? Friday night lights, baby.
I had to wait till Mama come in here and got on him, I guess.
You're the director. The director's walking in here.
She must be standing on a ladder then.
She's got stools all over the place. Haven't you ever seen the director chairs? They're really high. You got to climb up. She's got to climb up in them. She's got to climb up and then turn around and sit down in the chair.
Talking about midget pole dancing.
Mm-hmm. Your midget pole dancing picture is the greatest.
I know it.
I know. When you're a little short on cash.
Well, here's a funny thing of misinformation. We see that all the time. Was it yesterday? The start of yesterday's game of the regionals, college baseball. I know you're going, ooh, college baseball, but the point is, the catcher, the starting catcher, he had some issues, something ailing him, so he wasn't able to go, right? So they set him. Well, ESPN, the 4-letter network, went through this big spiel accusing the Tennessee catcher of failing a drugs test, and he was going to be out for the season. And I mean, just lie after lie after lie, right? And then it come out, hey, y'all run a story that was false. But they were still okay with it. You know, the reporter that done it, the people that told him to do it, they still have a job today, right? After you drug that college kid's name through the mud and beat him down and accused him of all these things that he didn't do, and he was just hurt because someone told you, you know, that's how America is today. This whole misinformation, right? But if we put facts out here on our podcast and put it on YouTube, even though it's their information, their facts, guess what? Then they take our podcast down because they say it's misinformation. So
Well,
it just depends on who you are. If it's real misinformation, if it was misinformation, it was misinformation for them, right? Because we just repeated their facts. So
they own the network.
They can spread the lies, and it's fine. But if you repeat their lies, then you're the one that's at fault, right?
No.
I don't know. I ain't got much else.
Okay, you keeping me looking down, damn it.
Who?
She keeps.
I ain't got much else. If you unless you got something.
Oh,
I ain't gonna.
she said you're you know, Eric's the only one. Let's see, Eric is the only one everyone can see good.
Say what?
She said you need a booster chair, and I need to look up and stop looking at my phone.
I need a booster chair.
That's what she said. I
Wow.
turned my thing down a little.
Yeah, you're on the lower third of the screen there.
Is that better?
No, Eric, he's doing a good job.
She said Eric's doing a good job.
It's red. It's red. Go sit down and shut up somewhere.
Oh boy, you know, she's gonna come over and do a maverick on you.
Go lock her in the chicken pen.
She might like that too much. Those are her fluffy butt sisters.
Already.
Oh yeah. But all right, well, I don't know.
Y'all got anything else? It's too late for me to start something else.
It's about long enough. I'm upset about your Dillard not showing.
Well, he'll be on sooner or
Oh
later.
yeah,
Maybe.
please. He wanted to come on so bad when that stuff broke, and now he's like, I don't want to come on now.
Lawyered up.
This is the first. Well, we asked him about yesterday or last Sunday, and he declined. Said he would be on this Sunday for sure. So maybe we'll just request his file while we're at it. Now, we'll get that one first. Watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Before all the other files a month ago, we'll get that one first.
We'll request that tomorrow morning by lunch. We'll have that file. No redactions.
Oh, hey, actually, hold on. So just keeping up with it now, the 2 + 2 finally added up to 4 in my head. Since you do have a personal relationship with him, and the city did say something about it having a lawsuit involved, then maybe whom you could get it from would be from Thomas Dillard as to the footage. Because I'm sure the lawyer has to ask for free, you know, he has to be given discovery. He has to be given discovery of all evidence.
But,
you know, I mean,
what we're saying is if he just if this is more recent, the city's going to drag their feet and try to not give up their information.
I think the thing I'm talking about with his attorney, this happened in the last few days, so he may get it.
Well, still
he may get it, but up to this point,
request it from him. I mean, you know,
yeah.
Obviously, the next time you go to your meeting of the
Yeah.
white sheet you know, you all could you
Which
know,
I-
give the secret sign. You could give the secret sign that, you
I
know,
thought it was.
you're.
I thought it was.
I don't know which way it goes. I just
I don't know.
yeah,
We don't know.
you know, you could
As
give
long
your
as as
you could
long
give
as there's
your
a burn,
secret
as long as there's
sign.
a burning cross visible in the background, you know it's coming.
Yeah, you know,
This is our secret
No,
sign.
but what
and hey, and
just make
you know,
sure.
I'm saying that tongue in cheek because going back to the beginning of the conversation, because those same people that want to give the narrative about the military grade weapons also want to give the narrative that because someone feels that they are 3%, you know, that they're a racist as far as that goes. But and all joking aside, I would definitely, you know, ask the guy. You have a personal relationship with him.
Yes,
You know,
Red. See, that's the thing. Nobody knows who requested the video, who leaked it and released it because it was technically confidential. But it got released and leaked to the news, and it's just an investigation video, and it should have never been allowed out or leaked. I mean, that's kind of what I've heard and where I'm going with it. But my point is, if you request his file, they'll have it to us before lunch. You know, here you go, have it. You know, by the way, here's his address, his social security number, his
Well, I
mother's
mean,
maiden name. You know, hell with him. We don't like him.
he does sit on the council, so
But
we're
but
going to get a ball.
Soon, when his attorney requests who released the video, they're going to lose the key again. Oops, we can't find the key.
Probably.
You know, that's what an excuse. Y'all are some jokes. You know, apparently, if you're a glue sniffer, you can get a job in government. They're always hiring. So, you know. But anyhow.
All right. Is that it? Y'all got anything else?
I got none. We'll have more to follow.
Appreciate everybody. We'll see you next Sunday.
He's muted. You're muted.
well,